So I just saw Sinners, and oh my god, you need to see this movie. Hello everyone, and welcome to my quick review of Sinners, Ryan Coogler's new film starring Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Miles Caton, and many others. Now, I want to say something very quickly about my expectations prior to seeing this movie. When the trailer first dropped 3 months ago, I gotta be honest, I was not hopeful for this movie at all. It sort of looked like it might just be another normal horror movie with very little originality to it. And that's fine if the movie is done right, sure, but what really made me suspicious of if this movie would be good was seeing Michael B. Jordan playing two characters at the same time. I don't know, I was just not confident that he'd be able to sell being two totally different people, as good of an actor as he is. And I was so sure that that would just take me out of the immersion and ruin the movie for me. But then all the reviews were like insanely fucking high. Like 100% from audiences and critics, and you know they hardly ever agree on anything. And when I saw that, I thought, yeah, maybe I should actually go see this movie then. And I went in with super high hopes since the movie was getting so much praise. And man, I was not disappointed. So like in my Until Dawn review, I'm gonna start out by listing the positives and move to the negatives afterward. God, where do I even start? Oh, and minor spoilers. So first of all, the movie's story and premise has so many fun and interesting moving pieces that if you asked me what the film was about, I could give you like 500 different answers. Learning the value of family and culture, embracing music, whether it be blues or folk, cultural appropriation and or destruction, the impact of religion on common people, the struggles of racism in the 1930s, vampires killing and converting the entire town in an attempt to rule the world. Okay, listen, I know compared to everything I said, that last thing sounds insane, but trust me when I say that all of this stuff is blended so seamlessly, blood-sucking monsters included, that you don't even care. Coogler somehow manages to tackle all of these things at one time in an incredible original story without stumbling at all. We watch as two brothers, Smoke and Stack, look to open a juke joint and recruit as many African Americans as they can, both to help build the place up and to participate in the party the same night. They get help to play music, make food, sing, everything, and all the people that they go to for help are personally related for one reason or another, and it adds so much story and character to the movie. We get some backstory each time too that is usually shown in a creative way, just enough to give us insight, but not too much to feel like it's just overwhelming exposition. Like, for example, us learning early about Smoke and someone he visits' deceased son, shown through an emotional visit to a grave. And speaking of characters, the characters in this movie are so full of life and personality. No one feels underdeveloped and everyone feels unique when compared to another character, and that includes Michael B. Jordan's Smoke and Stack. Despite them literally being played by the same guy. They talk similar, sure, but they're very different in personality. Smoke is more of a calm but firm business guy who won't take shit from anyone. That's not to say he isn't a caring human being though, but you get what I mean. Stack is more playful and goofy, and I was pleasantly surprised that I had no trouble being immersed the entire time, especially when both brothers were communicating with each other. It felt so normal, like two different people were on screen the whole time. Every other character has their own complex things going on too, so much that I can't really dive into all of them right now because we'd literally be here all day. But believe me when I say that everyone shined in this movie. Even the main character that we follow, played by Miles, has his own thing going on specifically related to music and religion. Two very important themes in this movie. His character, Sammy, simply wants to be a blues player and play at joints all over. His father, a pastor, thinks what he's doing may bring him closer to the devil, mostly because of the people he's performing for. But Sammy isn't having it. So he goes to play at Smoke and Stack's joint and learns very quickly that his father was, more right than he could have imagined, since fucking vampires attacked him and his new friends, literally attracted by the blues he was playing. And speaking of blues, that genre of music and music in general really is so important in this movie. It could very easily be described as the center of the entire film, and both the diegetic and the non-diegetic music is beautiful and so carefully placed throughout. And the emotional impact of the movie on the story and the scenes in general is incredible. The vocal performances performances are awesome, by the way. And when I say music is at the center, I mean it. Like I said, the vampire stuff happens because of Sammy's music. Apparently, the main villains of this movie heard his beautiful playing in the juke joint and wanted in on the action. And just so we're all on the same page, the vampires were 3 white people going up to a fully black juke joint, which was obviously intentional. And they have their own music that they'd like to play there, but given this was the 30s, the black people weren't having it and sent them away. God, keeping this review short is hard. There's so much I want to say, but I want to save that for when I have the footage and can rewatch the movie again. Anyways, the main villain and vampire, Remick, is such an interesting guy because he comes off as a genuine person with honest intentions, but he's still so unsettling. I mean, he's obviously a vampire, so that helps, but his drive to convert everyone to what he is, no matter what those people actually want, is the most threatening part of it all. He makes becoming a vampire seem like such a blessing and acts like he's offering a choice, but once they're in range of the humans, they sink their teeth into their necks without looking for much consent. And there's a rule about having to be invited into their areas, but there are way too many loopholes for that to really even make it feel like a real choice was given, especially since everyone can get killed just because one person invited a vampire in. But it's hard to not like Remick at least a little bit though. He's charming and fun, despite being kind of a murderous monster. Also, his look being inspired by one of the coldest villains to do it, Death from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, really helps his case. He's so cool, man. I haven't really talked about one of the most integral characters, Mary, played by Haley Steinfeld, and that's mostly because the reason why she has such an impact on the story would kind of spoil too much. But she does a great job, and her character is awesome. And all I'll say is her character is both black and white in a world of racism. So use that information however you'd like in the context of this movie, because honestly, I don't want to even tell you. But it's pretty important to the story for multiple reasons. Also, my god, the cinematography is beautiful. As someone whose favorite thing in film is color and framing and costume design and all that, this movie was so nice to look at. The director of photography took so much care in creating these shots. Even while I wasn't particularly intrigued by the trailer initially, one thing I could say for sure is that the movie looked pretty. Even with having Smoke and Stack wearing distinctive different colors fitting their personalities, red and blue. And it even kind of foreshadows the future for these characters now that I think about it. This movie is truly a looker, man. So the acting is incredible. The characters are all well thought out. The story is super unique and chock full of different themes and ideas. The villains are cool. The music is incredible. Really, the list of good things goes on and on. And now for the negative stuff. Well, I guess I wasn't a huge fan of waiting for 2 separate credit scenes. Guys, I really don't know what to say for this part. This movie was pretty perfect to me, so before things get awkward, I'm just gonna, yeah, 10 out of 10, go watch Sinners.